Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Trilogy Team Member Town Hall. We will get going in just a minute. Love to see the enthusiasm with the heart reaction there. That's great. Girish, whenever you're ready to start.
Awesome. Well, hopefully everybody can hear me. I know I can't see everybody's faces in the presenter mode, but happy to have you all here. I know it's been a hectic week and a half, and appreciate everybody's patience as we've been working through getting offers out and working through some of the challenges as it pertains to onboarding 100-ish people. So thank you so much for working through that. It was awesome getting out to see all of you a few weeks ago and get a chance to chat and talk through sort of the strategy behind this, but also more importantly, make sure that you're all comfortable with what we're trying to accomplish with this unique partnership. And every day that goes on, the more and more that I interact with the folks on the Greystar side, it's becoming more and more real and more exciting. And we couldn't be luckier to have the people involved that are on the Greystar side to make this really sort of a personal experience. So we're excited today. I know we mentioned it while we were on the roadshow, but we're excited today to create this first town hall so we can answer your questions. This is really an opportunity for Greystar to sort of talk a little bit about their background, their infrastructure, and what they've been working on behind the scenes, but then also carve out some time at the end to really allow you to ask questions. We know that a lot of you have questions about benefits and certain things that you've received in your offer letter, so we want to open that up. Of course, just from a sort of privacy standpoint, if you have specific questions about your personal offers, just shoot those over to Jessica, Suzanne, or myself, and we're happy to funnel that to the right people. We know that I think over 85% of our team's already accepted offers. We have a handful of people that we're waiting for this town hall to ask some questions. But again, if there's anything you'd rather ask offline, certainly reach out to us directly. We've got a lot of people on the call today. Of course, you see Jessica, Suzanne's on the call, Danielle from the Trilogy side, and then a lot of the people that you may have met during the roadshow with those interactions. So Val's on, Savannah's on, Meredith's on, and a lot of people that you have interacted with during those trips. So without further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Savannah. Again, some of you met her during the roadshow. She's been incredible to work with through this transition. I think a lot of what she does behind the scenes goes unnoticed, but greatly appreciated by me because she's made my job a heck of a lot easier. So I'm going to hand it off to Savannah to take you through some of the background on Greystar and just give you some general information. Thanks all.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Garish, for that intro. I am so excited that all of you are about to be a part of this new partnership between Trilogy and Greystar. I know a few of our leaders were able to visit the communities for road shows, as Garish mentioned, and we just really enjoyed meeting so many of you. I was fortunate enough to meet the teams from Azalea and Riverset, so shout out to that group today. Joining me on the Greystar side for today's town hall are Valerie Fertitta, who leads our Midwest region for the property management business, and Meredith Regal, and her team of people in culture, Jen Knapp and Christina Elms. And as we walk through the presentation, you can chat questions in the chat feature. We hope to address a lot of your concerns today. And if we don't get to everything, we're going to circle back. The most important part of this transition is you. And we know you have some specific questions about bonuses and team member housing in particular, which we are going to cover in detail on 2 subsequent calls. Please know the objective is to keep on-site discounts and bonuses the same, with the caveat that Greystar taxes discounts over 20%. And our team member housing team is going to walk you through that whole process. It may sound scary, but it's really not that scary. It's a minor shift in the details, and we're going to walk you through that on a later call that focuses solely on the people that have team member housing discounts or planning to move in the future to Trilogy community. or even a Greystar community. So now let's move on to a little bit of Greystar history so we can get to the real benefits section. I'm going to go fast kind of through this. Greystar was founded in 1983 by Bob Faith, who envisioned the need for a rental housing leader that operated with the highest integrity and character with world-class services to residents, property owners, and investors. Greystar has achieved that vision under Bob's leadership, and he would tell you that our success is due to our people. We have an incredible, hardworking, and caring team, and we are thrilled that you will now be a part of this amazing partnership. Simply put, moving on to slide 3. Yes, Simply put, we are a company of good people striving to do great things. We have 3 foundations built on trust. We stay true to the highest ethical standards and principles and are honest, trustworthy, and humble, as well as being respectful. Executing with excellence, this is how we conduct our business. We have the highest quality people that strive for customer service, operational excellence, and are committed to community while ensuring profitability and growth. We are driven to improve at Greystar. We believe in innovation and continuous improvement. And I think that's what makes the partnership with Trilogy especially unique, because Garish and his team have always been on the forefront of innovation and making the on-site teams' lives better, as well as our residents. We are always asking ourselves, how can we be better at Greystar? Supporting those 3 foundations are our pillars of excellence and core values. You will hear this theme a lot as you go through the onboarding process at Greystar. This is the backbone of Greystar and a roadmap for our decisions and actions. Greystar cares about people and cares about the culture here. And we are excited to bring the Trilogy tight culture to Greystar. We learn from opportunities such as this. Our pillars and values have been a cornerstone of who we are since the very beginning at Greystar. Now I'd like to hand it over to Valerie, talk about more of her region and what her and her team do.
Thank you, Savannah. Hi, everybody. I'm Val Fertitta. I had the pleasure of meeting many of you during our road shows a month ago in February. Just a little bit about me. I've been with Greystar 16 years through the JPI acquisition that took place in 2009. So I've been here a total of 24 years. I'm responsible for overseeing third-party operations in 11 states across the Midwest. I am so proud to be part of the Greystar team and watching our team continue to grow and bring in more amazing team members. Our real estate leaders have been working very closely with Trilogy leadership to make the transition and partnership as seamless as possible for you. As Savannah shared, I want to reiterate how excited we all are to have you join our team. You are all first-class professionals and top performers in the industry. I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing a brief overview of Greystar's property management business. Property management rolls up under the office of the COO, which is led by Executive Managing Director Andrew Livingstone. We oversee conventional, student, active adult, and most recently, build for rent or single family rentals. It's a new focus for us. We currently are spread across 44 different states and in 172 different markets. U.S. Property Management is co-led by Executive Directors Mike Clow and Tony Eubanks. Mike oversees our growth and client management team, which includes transitions and integrations, which you just met Savannah. Savannah leads. He also oversees client services, strategic partnerships, USPM People and Culture, which you'll hear from Meredith Regal shortly. And many of you met her on some of our road shows throughout your communities. Meredith also oversees team member learning and development, talent development, USPM HR support. Additionally, client relations, support services groups, corporate finance and reporting, and research and development report up to Mike as well. Tim Foley leads several of our support services groups that help support property management operations, including technology and business systems, financial services, marketing and revenue management, learning and development, and talent acquisition. Some of you that are in a corporate support role today will be members of Tim's team moving forward. These are the territories of our U.S. property management third-party business, with operations groups in the West, Midwest, Southwest, South, and East. You'll also see we have about 25 office locations across the country to support our business and all of our team members. This demonstrates how our leadership for U.S. real estate business is structured. Tony Eubanks is our executive director and leads the oversight of our North America real estate operations. Tony and her team oversee all third-party managed and owned assets, totaling about 3,200 assets and 900,000 units. Tony joined Greystar as part of the JPI acquisition as well in 2008, and is also on Greystar's executive committee. On the previous slide, we showed you the USPM territories for third-party management, and this shows you the leaders of each of those territories. Bradley Johnson oversees the West, Brandon Rich oversees the Midwest and Southwest, Joanne Broadway runs the South, and Jamie Tebow runs the East. Matt Fulton leads our owned asset teams, which includes conventional, student, and active adult assets, and Joan Caro leads a newly established U.S. operations implementations and integrations team. I'm going to hand it over to Meredith Riegel, who leads our people and culture for Greystar.
Thank you, Val. And I'm super excited to reconnect with all of you and discuss some of the next steps in our journey together. We are nearing the completion phase of phase 1. And it's been an absolute pleasure to meet many of you on and during the road shows. For me, those road shows were an incredible opportunity to set the tone for what's ahead. So we've checked a lot of the boxes that are on phase 1, but your engagement and thoughtfulness, really thoughtful questions, they've been invaluable. So keep them coming. We really appreciate that. And that's how we're going to continue to make sure we get you the information that you need. As we wrap up phase 1, we're actively planning to move into phase 2, focusing on ways of working and really identifying the key areas to ensure that we have a very smooth transition and a positive team member experience. That is our commitment. So please continue to share your thoughts and questions through the Welcome Trilogy email so we can address them both timely and accurately throughout. Clear communication is just going to be so critical to the success of all of this, which is why we're working to develop a calendar of calls, so to speak, to cover important topics such as, the hiring process and how that's going to sort of transition through team member housing. We'll do some benefit deep dives because that's super important to each and every one of us to understand our benefits and how does that translate to support our families. And training transitions as well. We don't want to have you take more time to do training you've already completed. So how do we sort of make good decisions and use your time effectively as you're onboarding with Greystar? So we need to just stay mindful of your time while ensuring that you have the information and the support that you need. We're also discussing a second roadshow potentially to bring more of a hands-on approach in a variety of areas to help prep for phase 3. So looking ahead to phase 3, we'll shift into deeper integration, including Greystar's sort of standard operating procedures or SOPs, focus more on compliance and systems. And, this phase will lead us into full stabilization, ensuring that our ways of working align seamlessly. With all the collaboration, communication, and feedback that's happening, I have no doubt that we're gonna reach this milestone super successfully together. So 2 hot topics that are on your mind and we're hearing from feedback are on benefits and learning and development. So I've got Jen Knapp, who's going to provide an overview of benefits, and Christina Elms is going to introduce a bit about our learning and development, covering high-level onboarding, career growth, and development opportunities. So looking forward to the journey ahead and keeping that conversation going. And Jen, over to you.
Thanks, Meredith. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Greystar. We're super excited that you're here. Again, my name is Jen Knapp. I'm from the benefits team. And as Meredith mentioned, we're going to keep this pretty high level. There will be much more information provided to you later. So don't worry if we don't cover everything that you have questions on today. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Again, there will be some sessions following in the coming month that will go into much more detail and really help you figure out what's best for you to choose and how to enroll and everything that goes along with that. So Greystar has a really expansive benefits program. We're really proud of our offerings. And again, I'm just going to keep this very high level. All of the details around our benefits are provided in our benefits guide. We have a benefits FAQ, and we have a bunch of tip sheets that help walk you through everything. And then that FAQ that Meredith mentioned is going to be updated continually. So those details will be in there to help you navigate just the specifics for the Trilogy transition. So today I'm just going to go through the medical, dental, vision. We're going to talk about 401k quickly, life and disability, your paid time off, and some other benefits. So just note that there will be no gap in coverage. Your benefits with Trilogy will end at the end of April, and your benefits with Greystar will start on May 1st. So there's no gap. Everything will transition smoothly. That way you don't have a break in coverage. And your enrollment is going to be done through our program, our platform Dayforce. So once you become part of Greystar, you'll log into Dayforce, and that's where you will complete your enrollment. And you'll have until the end of May to complete your enrollment. All right, so all full-time team members that work 30 or more hours per week are eligible to enroll in benefits. And your tenure with Trilogy will be honored. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the coming slides, but your start date with Trilogy is your benefits seniority date. One thing just to note that's a little bit different about Greystar is that we require proof of your dependents, that they're actually your dependents, and that supporting documentation would be a marriage certificate for a spouse. It could be birth certificate for a child. We do offer, you can add a domestic partner. There's some documentation that's required along that. We do have a tip sheet that walks through all the details of what those items are that you'll need, but basically, once you enroll in Dayforce, you'll have the opportunity to upload those documents in there, and you have to do that within 30 days of enrolling. If you don't provide those documents, you can't cover your dependents. So just keep that in mind. It's a little bit different, but that's something that we do require. Next slide. So quickly, I'm just going to go over the medical plans. This slide first shows there are 4 plans under the medical plans. This is just the first 3. So this is just kind of a side-by-side comparison of the coverage, the premium plan, the standard, and the base plan. And then the next slide, we'll talk about the 4th option. But you'll see here that, sorry, go back one. You'll see here that the premium plan has the lowest deductibles, and it offers both in and out of network benefits. This is the highest cost per paycheck. Then the standard's kind of in the middle. The base is lower cost, but it offers less coverage. The standard and base are also in network only. And these 3 plans have copays. And so now on the next slide, you'll see the high deductible health plan, or HDHP. And this has the option to elect a health savings account, or HSA. And you'll notice on this plan that it's deductible first, so there's no copays. So keep that in mind when you're choosing. All these details, again, will be in the benefits guide. We'll cover more details. And then we have a really great online tool called Alex that's interactive, and it helps you decide which plan is best for you and your family based on your specific situation. It's very secure and no information is stored, but is really great option. Okay, and the next slide we're going to show are the costs per paycheck for these four different plans. You'll notice here that your 10-year, there's a discount at 3 years and then again at 5 years. And again, this is using your Trilogy hire date. So if you've already been here with Trilogy for 5 years, then you look at that bottom section and those are going to be your per paycheck costs. One thing to note that is a little bit different about the current high deductible health plan that y'all have offered is that while it is zero cost for team member only coverage, there is a cost if you are covering dependents. So that's a little bit different there. And then next we're going to look at the cost for dental and vision. We have 2 dental plans through Guardian and then 1 vision plan through VSP. And these are the per paycheck costs. More information again is provided in the benefits guide. And now we'll talk about the 401k. So you are eligible to participate in the 401k if you're at least 21 years old and you've been you have 6 months of service. Again, your Trilogy tenure will be honored. So if you've already been here for more than 6 months, then you are eligible to start contributing to the Greystar 401k. If you do have your 401k with the Trilogy plan, you will be responsible for rolling that over if you choose to. So it's not automatic. We're not doing it for you. It will stay with Trilogy until you roll it over if you choose to do that. So there's once you get into our 401k provider is Ascensus. So once you get into the Ascensus website, you can download the rollover form. We can also provide that in the links in the FAQ at a later date. But one other thing, so Greystar matches 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your eligible pay. And then you can see here the vesting schedule. It is optional. You do not have to contribute to the 401k. So once you get logged in, you can go in and set your savings rate to 0. One other important thing to note, this is a little tricky, is the way that our payroll system is set up, it will stop your contributions if you hit the IRS maximum. But our payroll system won't know what you contributed already in your current 401k. So it's your responsibility to keep track of that and make sure you don't over contribute. So keep that in mind. And then next, we're going to talk about paid time off just quickly. This is a snapshot of your paid time off. Again, your Trilogy service date will be applied for your years of service. You can see there's an example here. If you've been with Trilogy for 5 years, you'll receive that 25 days of vacation time. It'll be prorated for the remainder of the year. Vacation time, only 40 hours will roll over to the next year. So it's kind of use it or lose it. And then you have until the end of March to use that 40 hours of carryover. Your sick time does roll over. It doesn't expire. We also have company paid holidays. You get 1 personal day each quarter. You get a day off for your birthday. And we also offer paid parental leave and sabbatical once you reach 10 years. And lastly, last slide. This is just a quick highlight of some other benefits that are available. We do have a flexible spending accounts available. Again, same with the 401k, it's your responsibility to make sure you don't go over the limit because our system won't know how much you've contributed year to date. So don't elect the maximum when you go in there to elect your FSA. Same goes for the HSA. Make sure you know how much you've contributed and then don't contribute too much so that you don't go over that IRS max. We also offer voluntary supplemental life, and we have short and long-term disability. One difference to note between your current benefits with Trilogy is that our short and long-term disability are voluntary and they are paid by you. They're not company paid and they're not automatic. So when you go to enroll, just make sure if you do want to elect short and long-term disability that you do so during your new hire enrollment. And we have a variety of other voluntary plans that you can elect. There's a few programs that are included as part of our medical plan. We also have an employee assistance program. So even if you're not enrolling in any other benefits, all team members have 24/7 access to the EAP or employee assistance program. It provides confidential support for a variety of issues, including mental health needs and everyday challenges. We also offer Greystar Giving. It's a company-wide philanthropic effort where you have the opportunity to voluntarily elect payroll deductions to contribute to our Stars in Need or Greystar Scholars program. And again, more information on all of this that we talked about today will be in those future sessions. And you can ask more questions, and all those resources will be provided to you. And now I will turn it back over to Christina to talk about learning and development.
Hello there. Thanks, Jen. Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about training and learning and development. Greystar has a commitment to team member development at its core, and it's part of our company's operating principles, one that sets Greystar apart from its competitors. This commitment is exemplified in our core values, and we believe by supporting and developing the growth of each team member, the company also succeeds and grows. As you join Greystar, you'll be provided with resources that equip you with the foundation for a successful start. And then you'll build upon your foundational capabilities and learning. You'll have the opportunity to build new skills, grow your knowledge, and elevate your professional development. By advancing your skill sets and stretching your potential, you will open new doors to career advancement opportunities. Next slide, please. Thanks. As a property management professional, you want personalized and flexible learning paths, career advancement, access to mentorship, and opportunities to thrive. Greystar has made significant investments to deliver best-in-class learning opportunities that develop skills and knowledge, promote behavior change, and improve performance. Greystar's unique learning programs provide transformational experiences that prepare you for the pace of change in our industry and to best service our customers. They also build community and improve engagement, from one-on-one peer mentorship to cohort-based certification programs. You will be supported and encouraged to achieve your goals. Greystar's learning and development efforts will assist you with a learning roadmap that begins on day one. Specific learning journeys exist for each on-site position, honing the skill sets required for our team members to successfully carry out their work. Our online hub for learning, called Workday, will become an invaluable resource for you as you join Greystar, as well as throughout your career. In Workday, you'll find an online library with helpful resources and tools, all required and recommended learning, and skill paths designed to master your current role and prepare you for future roles. We look forward to partnering with each of you as you own your career and grow with Greystar. Now, I'd like to hand it over to Kimberly Payne, Managing Director from our People and Culture team, who oversees our HR operations for the enterprise. Kimberly?
Thank you, Christina. It's time to open it up for questions, and we'll try to get through as many as we can today. For those that we don't get answered for you, we'll make sure to get those updated in the next version of the FAQ. You can also send questions directly to us at welcometrilogy@greystar.com. To ask a question, you will just navigate to the chat at the top of your screen. You'll click the chat icon and the meeting chat will appear, and then you'll enter your question. Click the arrow to submit. Both your name and your question will appear. So if you do have a question that may be more unique and specific to you, you may choose to use the email method instead. But let's get started. What questions do you have today?
Sorry, dinner, Leanne, would it be possible to take off the no camera so we can see people's faces as well, or am I?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think everybody can undo. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Awesome. Perfect.
Don't be shy. We just covered a lot of information. So there's feel free to ask anything. You have all of the subject matter experts here. Oh, I see some hands up. Do we want to do that, or do we want to have the questions in the chat? Either one. I'm not sure, Leanne.
If we've got some hands up, I'm okay taking it that way. If you're okay, Kimberly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that. See everybody's faces now.
Yes, I just changed the settings, so.
Awesome.
Feel
Perfect.
free.
There we go.
Great. Let's see, where did those hands go?
I just added pressure by putting people on the,
Okay,
screen.
Amy Whitaker has a hand up.
Hi, it's actually Josh who's right up at the camera.
Hi, Josh.
No, I was just curious for the on-call employees, is there any on-call stipend or will it remain the same as what's with Trilogy now?
I can take that one if you want. Josh, to answer your question, we are not making any changes to our existing on-call planning. We're obviously, as we transition over, we're going to take a look at what Greystar has to offer. And if there are some other opportunities that are actually better for our team members, we may make some changes, but plan on through the rest of this year, no imminent changes. And if we find that ours is sort of best in breed, we'll continue with that existing plan in perpetuity. Good question, though.
Great.
I think we got a note. Faith just mentioned that team members were not able to, says chat is only available during the meeting. So there's some people that can't respond on chat. Leanne or Dana, I'm not sure if that's a setting that we can adjust.
I like the raise in the hand. I like how we pivoted there. So I think Catherine, you're next.
Hi there. I have a quick question about my FSA and HSA account. Will I need to spend what I have with Trilogy first and then start the new one? Or will I have access to that account through the end of June, I think, when it starts over?
That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. But
I
will
saw
find out.
Suzanne nodding. Yeah, go ahead, Suzanne.
Suzanne
I can answer something, Kate. We can send you this as well. In the benefits, it does say if you elected, there is an annual cap for how much you can elect pre-tax. So you'll have to make sure you make that appropriate election. And then you'll have a specific period of time, I believe, and this is where I'll confirm for you, it's 60 days from the time that you're terminated from Trilogy's plan in April to submit claims. You cannot use that money that you accrued or put aside in Trilogy's funds after you've been terminated from Trilogy, meaning see the dentist now, make your doctor's appointment now, make sure the appointments and the time of the service is before you move over to Greystar, and then you'll have a period of time to submit those claims to get reimbursed for them.
Thank you.
Great, great. Madeline, you're up.
Hi, I had a quick question about getting our leasing license. So I know that's something that is now required. I have never looked into that. I've never gone through the process or anything like that. So is that something you guys will kind of direct me to do, or do I have to outsource that schooling and all that myself?
I can answer that question. So we have a managing broker for the state of Illinois as well as the state of Michigan. Both states have a very different requirement. But in Illinois, you will definitely there's two options. So there's classroom-led exams where we can kind of give you the real estate credentialed companies that host them. They're typically a 2-day class. Or there's a self-led online kind of, 8 to 14 hour, depending on how you take the test. So we can definitely kind of give you the list of all the credentialed. We'll go over, as the weeks go by, kind of state specific and city specific requirements. And then we will ensure that you have time to take the courses, go through all of the thing, help you get to the proctored exams.
And then what is the start date? Because I know in the offer letter it said we have 120 days. So what is the start date where Greystar takes over and that 120 starts?
Believe it is April 15th. So whatever day we actually transition, which will is April 15th. And so then you'll have 120 days from there. If you wanted to get started looking at the material early, I'm sure we can all work together to get that information to you. But the 120 days would start on transition day.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks
You're
for those
welcome.
questions. Let's move. We have one more hand up, Jennifer Clevin and group there, and then I'll move to the chat. We have some questions coming in there fast and furiously. So who's going to take that call or take the question with Jennifer's group?
Yeah, I just had one question as far as with Greystar taking over the management part of it, how does that affect kind of how our people out here and how we do things as far as, I mean, is there gonna be system changes for like paying bills and stuff like that? I don't know if that's exactly the way I wanted to say it, but something to that effect, like.
Yeah, I can take that one if you want. Mike, great question. From our perspective, transition date is going to be April 15th, unless something major changes, which it shouldn't. We're going to continue to work on Trilogy systems until about mid-May. So we're going to give you some time to sort of adapt to transitioning over from an HR standpoint, IT standpoint to Greystar. And then our systems are going to shift in May. We're going to break our portfolio into 3 phases and roll that out. So we'll have more information as we get into it. But there will be some changes. Greystar has some great enhancements that they're going to provide with Marketplace. So we'll be able to have a little bit better purchasing power and access to more things. But there will be some adjustments on that side on how we sort of process payments and things of that nature. So we'll have more information as we get through it. But that's a great question.
You wanted to mention this.
Great. Let's take a couple of quick questions from the chat, and then I see Brandon, and I'll get right back to you, Brandon, for a question. Still have a little bit of time here. So one of the questions was at the top of the chat is about announcing this to residents, and I'm aware there's a plan to announce a communications cascade. Can someone speak to if and when residents would be notified?
Sure, we are working with Garish and team to get that appropriate language. We've got drafts of those resident communications. It's not a major change for your residents because they're going to still see Trilogy people, Trilogy uniforms. There may be 1 or 2 banking instances. We're trying to keep that to a minimum that may change portal payments, but for the most part, we're trying to keep everything status quo. And just let the residents know that Greystar is in the backside, helping Trilogy, manage the assets.
Yeah, think of it as Trilogy powered by Greystar, if you will. So we're working on the messaging. We do want residents to be aware of the changes. There's going to be some certain things that will benefit them. But to Savannah's point, the resident payment portion is going to change over to Built, which is a really cool resident rewards program. So we'll have more information as we get into that transition process, and we will need residents to update payment information and things like that. But we're going to do that mid-month, not first of the month. So hopefully a little less brain damage.
Good.
And all the systems changes, anything that like processing bills, how we move people in or out, any changes to what you're currently doing. And again, we're going from Yardi to Yardi, so many of the basics will remain the same, but we will provide excellent resources. Sarah Frith and her team really are instrumental in helping our on-site folks get up to speed with any nuanced changes in day-to-day operations. So you'll get kind of a roadmap that will walk through what's coming and how to prepare for that, and then sign up for the classes to help you get up to speed.
Great, that's great information. There are a lot of questions coming in about benefits, which I think would be best to add to our FAQ. So I know Jennifer's also responding in the chat. Let me ask Brandon, you have your hand up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it may have been on the slide, but PTO, is that something that will accrue, or is that something that will be given at the beginning of the year?
It's an accrual process. So I will be honoring your tenure with Trilogy. And so you'll be accruing at whatever rate you are with the greater breadth of service, but it's accrued every pay period.
Yeah, and just to add on that, Brandon, for on-site team members, your PTO is going to roll over to Greystar. So we are working through that. For corporate team members, it's a little different setup, and we've communicated that. But for on-site, your PTO is going to roll over.
Great, perfect. That was a question in the chat. So thank you for heading that off. There's a question about the MAT or MAT reports and monthly reports. Will those continue?
going to hand that to Jessica.
Yeah, I responded to Matt already, but yes, reporting is going to stay pretty similar. We're still working through some nuances of like specifics with the report packages. So once we get into it, we'll let everyone know what's going to shift and what's going to stay the same.
Great.
And we did skip over Colton. I'll touch on the employee housing discounts. I know that's in the back of a number of people's minds.
Yes.
So if you are continue to work on a Trilogy community and you're a current Trilogy employee now transitioning over to Greystar, we're going to honor our existing concessions. So 20% year one, once you hit the three-year mark, 50%, and then once you hit the 5-year mark, you'll have 100% concession. There are some of our team members that are transitioning over to Greystar that will be continuing to work on a Trilogy community. If you're under that 3-year mark, you're going to actually get the benefit of the Greystar concession. So you bump from your 20% up to 40% day one. So that's a little additional benefit for all of you. You also, if you're an on-site team member or one of our flex team members, if you decide you want to live at another Greystar community that obviously we don't own, you'll get the benefit of a 20% discount via Greystar. If you end up going to work at another Greystar community, you'll get that benefit of the 40% concession. So we're going to outline that for you in an FAQ. I know that was a mouthful, but you're going to get the best of both worlds effectively is what we've tried to accomplish here.
Great. Great, thank you for that. What about the corporate cards? There's a question about Expensify and the current Amex cards.
I'll punt that to either Val or Jessica. I know you two have been talking about that.
Yeah, I think we'll move to the P card system for on-site. And then any expenses incurred, they will go through our Expense Anywhere system to submit to be reimbursed.
Perfect. Great. Well, we have about 3 minutes left. Don't worry, we will summarize all of these questions. They'll be in the FAQs. Again, if you need an urgent answer, send that to us at the welcometrilogy@greystar.com email and we'll get you a response. But thank you for giving these great questions and raising your hands. I'll turn it back over to Savannah to wrap us up.
Yeah, appreciate that, Kimberly. And I just encourage you to keep the questions coming because that will really help us make sure we cover all the bases on the subsequent benefits call. We're going to have kind of open hours, so you can drop in, drop out as you want to ask specific questions in a little bit smaller setting. But that helps us cover the bases of what we really need to talk about and focus on. So don't be shy about keeping those questions coming. Same with the team member housing. We hope that the call with the team member housing team really helps walk through and alleviate any concerns about housing. It's a great benefit. We want everyone to get the maximum, and we're excited to add the Trilogy portfolio into our options of housing. So that's exciting. Garish, were you going to say something?
No, Savannah, I was just going to say, I know we have a couple questions. It seems like a lot of people, we're getting answers to a lot of the questions, but we'll also scan those questions that are coming through in the chat, and we'll push that via the FAQ. Of course, the email that we had up there before, I think that was, can you give that to us one more time, Kimberly? Welcome
Trilogy at Greystar.com. Sorry.
Yes.
Welcome Trilogy at Greystar.com. So if you didn't get your question answered, it's in the chat. And I'm sorry, we're running a little longer than we thought. Feel free to just email your question to that, and we'll get you a response quickly. And again, we're going to be having the weekly FAQ calls where a handful of us will be on those answering questions in a little bit of a smaller environment. But these are all great questions. I think we're answering most of them, and we'll try to continue to do that. And the housing call, Brandon, we'll get you details and an invite on that as well.
And we're just happy to have the Trilogy team members joining our extended family. And I want to emphasize that this is just the start. You know, we are going to have bumps in the road. There are going to be some learning curves, but we're here to be a support and make sure it is as painless as humanly possible. And it's exciting. We are two cultures coming together that really invest in our people, are excited about our people and what we can do together. Greystar is really honored to be the partner of Trilogy. So thank you for joining the call. Thanks for your participation. We are going to send out a replay of this call to anyone that may have missed it, or you want to go back and listen to something again. We'll work with the Trilogy team to get that out to you. And I'm going to turn it over to Anna Roche, who's going to ask some of our Trilogy